My name is Madison Barra, and welcome to my podcast, where it's all about teaching you how to lose weight, keep it off, and actually enjoy the process. I've lost over 70 pounds, and these are the failures and lessons I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy and subscribe. So today I want to go over the biggest predictor of whether or not you're going to be successful on your weight loss journey. This is the one thing that time and time again, if you don't get right, you will always kind of fall back into your old habits, or you'll gain your weight back, or you'll just plateau and never know how to break it. So if you're struggling to lose weight or wanting to start losing weight and not sure if you're actually going to be successful, this is the number one secret that I can tell you is going to predict whether or not it's actually going to work. So the best way that I can kind of describe this and show this to you is through a story. And I'm going to make this nice and short and sweet. So there was this father and this son, and this son had this old beat up car and he couldn't drive it anymore. He was looking for a new car. So he needed some money to buy a new car. So his dad said, you know what, why don't you go take it down to the dealership and see what they'll give you for it. So the son drives it down to the dealership. They do their little tests. They analyze the vehicle and they say, you know what, we can give you $2,000 for this car. The son goes, well, that's not good enough. That's not going to get me a new car. So he goes back to the dad, and dad says, you know what? Why don't you check out the scrapyard? See what they'll give you for it. So son then drives a beat up car down to the scrapyard. They do their little tests to see what parts they can take from it. And they say, you know what? We can give you $3,000 for this. Son says, okay, that's better. Still nowhere near what I need. And then the son goes back to the dad. The dad says, actually, you know what? There's an antique shop down the street. That's worth a shot. See if they'll take it. So the son drives down to the antique shop. The owner looks it over and he offers him $15,000. And so there's two morals to this story that I want you to take away. Number one is if you keep looking in the wrong place, you'll never get what you're looking for. If you keep trying to lose weight by trying a quick fix, jumping on the newest fad, or thinking it's just a type of exercise or a certain meal plan that you have to follow and that's it, and that's your missing puzzle piece, then you'll never find what you're looking for. And what you're looking for is, you want to lose weight, you want to keep it off, you want to feel good, and you want to not have to worry about it again. And that takes more than just surface level things. So if you keep looking in the wrong place, like this son did. He looked at the dealership. He looked at the scrapyard. They didn't give him what he needed until he went to the antique shop. And so there's somewhere in your life, and usually, unfortunately, the weight loss industry as a whole is usually like the scrapyard and the dealership. So you have to really look for that quote unquote antique shop to find what you're looking for, because you want sustainability and discipline and lasting habits. And you don't learn those things from just another quick fix. And so if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, if it's not sticking, if you don't know why you can't get motivated or why the scale's not moving, it's most likely because you've been looking in the wrong place. And maybe it's not even because you think you're looking in the wrong place, right? Maybe you're even putting effort into figuring out where to look. But here's the thing. If everybody's struggling with one thing and they're all looking in the same place and everybody's still struggling, should we keep looking in that place? And so that's moral of story one. If you keep looking in the wrong place, you will never find what you need. Now, moral of the story number two is, if you are not surrounded by an environment or people that know your value, you won't know your own worth. If you aren't placing yourself intentionally in that antique store, you won't know how much you're actually worth. And you'll always undersell yourself, and you'll always doubt yourself, and you'll always beat yourself up. If you don't create an environment where you are that beautiful, retro, old school antique car in an antique shop, you're going to be treated like the scrapyard would treat that car. They'd sell it for parts, or the dealership would treat the car. They'd probably sell it back to the scrapyard. And so if you are struggling on your weight loss journey and you're beating yourself up about it, it's probably because you're in an environment that isn't showing you your true worth, right? And whether that's a relationship that you're in, whether that's your family not supporting you, or whether that's just yourself not supporting you or being able to realize your potential. And so it is so important that you are, number one, looking in the right place. Because if what you've been doing hasn't been working, we can't keep going and looking and doing those things. We can't go to the same place again. So you have to look different if you want something to be different. And then number two, are you surrounding yourself? Are you going out and finding those antique shops, those communities of women on the same path as you, the women who want the same goals, have the same values, and are trying to develop the same character traits and skill sets and habit that it requires to be healthy forever? Because health is a forever game. There is no rush to get healthy, because you have to get healthy and be healthy for the rest of your life. And then that's something that you want, right? And it's not something you achieve and then we say, yes, I'm there. It's something you achieve and then you work to maintain the rest of your life. The good news is usually the work to get there is more than what is needed to maintain. And so you learn everything you need to maintain along the way. It's just that what you've been learning or who you've been learning from or what you've been learning from hasn't been preparing you, hasn't been giving you what you actually need, because a lot of the times we don't actually know what we need. We think we need a new type of meal. We think keto is the thing that's going to speed up our metabolism, or fasting is the thing that's going to speed up our metabolism. That's not what's happening here. It's not one thing that's going to secretly unlock your weight loss potential. It's looking in a different place because you realize what you actually have been needing. Not what you think you need, not what everybody else has been telling you you need, and not what you've already been trying. Really quick, you guys know that I do not run any ads or try to sell you anything on this podcast. The only thing that I would ever ask of you is that you help me spread the word so that I can help more women lose weight, keep it off, live a healthy life, and love themselves in the process. And the only way that we can make that happen is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing that I would ask from you is if you could please leave a review. It'll take about 10 seconds. It would mean the world to me, but more importantly, it could change the world for somebody else. Back to the podcast. And then making sure that your environment is conducive to you learning and growing and being proud of yourself and loving yourself and hyping yourself up. Be your own hype man, right? How would you talk to your best friend? Because that's how you should be talking to yourself. And I can tell you, that's definitely not how you've been talking to yourself. How do I know that? Because I've been there. I still struggle with that. We're our worst critic. We're our worst enemies. And so go find your antique shops. And then you are worthy and you are valuable and you feel that and you feel like you are capable of accomplishing anything. About 90% of the women that come to me to lose weight haven't lost weight because they don't actually think that they can. They want to, and they don't want to stop trying because they know it's important, but they failed so many times, they kind of don't believe that they can do it anymore. They doubt themselves and they doubt their bodies. But our body has not stopped working for us and keeping us alive since the minute we've been conceived. Our body is on our side. We are not on our side. And it doesn't help if you look in the wrong place and you're being bombarded with lies or things that aren't helpful, or Band-Aids to cover something that needs 70 stitches, right? A lot of things are Band-Aids, right? When you go to a doctor with a gaping wound, you know, he doesn't treat your headache. He doesn't treat your symptoms. He fixes the wound. And a lot of the times, unfortunately, what's available in the market, in the weight loss industry, are just Band-Aids. They're just symptom fixers. You don't need another symptom fixer. You need the root cause cured. And if you take anything away from this call, it is please know that if you are still not where you want to be, you are still extremely struggling, you've not found your cure, you've not embraced your cure, you have to make sure you are changing your expectations of where you need to be looking. Because if you keep going to the dealership and the scrapyard, you're going to keep getting bare minimums and not what you need. And then if you aren't going and finding that antique shop, you will never reach your goal. And what a shame it would be if you died without meeting the best version of yourself. What a shame, what a crime it would be if your family never got to meet the best version of you. If your spouse never got to see how amazing you could blossom into. What a shame if the world couldn't be graced with the best version of you. And that is what weight loss is. It is not as simple as, you know, I'd be happy with losing 10 pounds. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. And I need you to see that in order for you to actually achieve that. And so if you're looking in the wrong places, you will never find what you need. And if you are not surrounding yourself with the right environment, you will never know your true worth. So know your worth, and then add tax on top of that. If you found this podcast valuable, I hope you can leave a 5-star review. And if you want to learn more about how to lose weight fast and for good, visit Tremera.com. Thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode.